blowing out another person's candle does not make yours any more luminous. Every child deserves the liberty to live a life free of torment and harassment. Not only do mocks and taunts poison a child's soul, but they also push them to the ground. The children afflicted by the trauma often suffer mental health deterioration and low self-esteem for a long time. It is also probable for the distress caused by such oppression and mistreatment to leave a permanent scar on the child's mind and personality. To fully comprehend how mocking can be detrimental to a child's mental well-being, here's an incident that reflects how crucial it is to stand up against these inhumane acts. It was a regular afternoon of a hectic working day. Connie Ramstad had immersed herself in the endless chores of the day when she received an unexpected phone call. Upon hearing the formal tone of the voice on the other end, Connie knew it was not a random phone call. It was from her daughter's school. At first, Connie felt her mind swirl with confusion as she heard the caller informing her that her 8-year-old girl, Allegra, was in detention. But why? Without even realizing it, Connie blurted out these words in an instant. The news was a shock since Allegra had a relatively impressive academic record and had always been a well-behaved child. Whether due to her maternal instincts or her tendency to overthink, Connie's mind kept telling her that something wasn't right upon hearing the word detention, especially for students in an elementary school. One would think of the student being asked to report to a designated school area during recess or after school as a punishment. That too comes with specific regulations and limits. Connie expected her daughter to be in a similar situation, either in a classroom or in the principal's office. However, the reality was utterly different. Since she received a phone call hours later, instead of being informed a day prior to the detention, she had to rush to Rock Ridge Elementary High School. Although the walk from the parking lot to the principal's office took only a few minutes, time seemed to halt for Connie. She could feel worry engulfing her. Little did she know what she was about to see would be even worse than the whirlwind of perplexity in her mind. They complained that Allegra had been weeping for hours, as if that was some dilemma. Nobody even attempted to comfort the terrified child, Connie told the reporters with dark eyes. When one of the staff members took the tense mother to her 8-year-old, the scene was heart-wrenching. "I found my little girl trapped in a jail cell. They call it a detention room, but it was actually a scary 2-by-4-foot room," Connie said. Allegra was crying at the top of her lungs in the corner of the jail cell. Her eyes were swollen, her hair was messy, and her facial expression depicted the intensity of emotional pain that she was feeling on the inside. Even after escaping the detention room and hiding in her mother's embrace, the frightened and traumatized 8-year-old girl could not stop crying. Connie failed to ensure her child's pain and protested against the harsh treatment Two-Leg received. The school staff complained that Allegra had threatened a fellow student and misbehaved, and that is why, according to them, she deserved the punishment. Upon hearing this from the management, Connie was flabbergasted. She found it hard to comprehend how the school staff could mishandle the situation and treat a young child like that. In actuality, Allegra was innocent and had consistently faced insults and assaults caused by the same student for the whole past year. At last, she had learned how to stop letting bullies walk over her and decided to speak up for herself. Previously, she had complained regarding the abusive behavior of the bullies and had tried to report it to her teachers and the headmistress. Still, no one paid heed to the issue. The environment of the school was already taking a toll on her mental health because of the mocking, and now Allegra had suffered additional emotional distress after the detention. The incident adversely affected the child's mental health. She grew quiet, fell physically ill as well, and refused to go back to Rock Ridge Elementary High or any other school. "We still do not know how long she will stay traumatized. She has been feverish and sick for more than 3 days now," said the anxious mother. Considering the aftermath of the mistreatment, Allegra's family made a firm decision to file a lawsuit against the school for the psychological oppression of the child. They hired a reputable attorney who entirely agrees to take legal action. "The school has crossed a line here. It's an evident violation of civil rights, and this is definitely not the way a child is supposed to be treated," he said. Connie and her family profoundly hope that Alexdra's former school does not treat any other students so harshly in the future. They hope that the school takes complaints against mocking seriously and never uses the terrifying jail cell as a detention room ever again. Childhood oppression can result in lifelong psychological damage. Studies have proven that children who are constantly being ridiculed, especially at school, are known to suffer from isolation, social anxiety, poor academic performance, stress, and frustration. Moreover, post-traumatic stress disorder, IPS, known to disrupt the victim's mental peace years later during adulthood. Intimidating others inflicts more damage than we realize. It's high time we take a stand against this toxic act. Prevention programs against these vile acts should be practiced in educational institutes. Therapy and counseling by child development professionals should be normalized for young children, especially for children in severe trauma as they were victimized by these intimidators. Most importantly, we must encourage and support those who are striving to raise their voice against this toxic behavior.